Here today. He luckily did not have to watch the game live and will be watching it later on. But the game's actually not even over. It's late in the fourth quarter, and I just wanted to get this recording over because, man, oh man, what a slaughter this was. It was not unexpected to be a slaughter, but it's still tough, man. It is so tough. I mean, right now it's 33-10. Uh, Cowboys all over the Panthers. 3:29 left in the fourth quarter. I mean, Bryce Young looked bad. The offensive line looked bad. Frank Reich take over play calling looks bad. I mean, where do we go from here as Panther fans? Do we continue to cheer for the squad? I mean, what? We're gonna be 1-9 in a couple minutes, and from there, where do we go? I mean, seriously, I thought we hit rock bottom last year, but this year we're way worse. We're about to give Chicago Bears the number one overall pick because we traded to them for Bryce Young. Bryce Young, he's shown glimpses, but at the same time, he's showing more trouble than it's worth. He's constantly under pressure. There's no protection. There's no receivers getting open. It's not fair to judge him, but at the same time, you're not lifting up other players. You're not making the right reads. You're letting Micah Parsons go one-on-one against Chandler Zavala, who's probably the worst guard in the league. I mean, the season's over. Been long over now. I mean, what do we do? What do we do as Panther fans? We've screamed at the top of our lungs, fire Frank Reich, Tepper needs to go. Tepper's not going to sell this team. Scott Fitterers could get fired. Okay. Good job. Firing Fitterer and Frank Reich are step one. Getting it right for the rest is step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, you got a coach who doesn't understand the style of players he has and continues to try to fit this weird spread offense for this team. The O-line can't play spread. They can't play this zone scheme, spread it out. No, it just doesn't work. You need a ground and pound style offense for this offensive line. I mean, that may not be the most fun to watch. That may not be what Frank Reich or David Tepper really want to run, but that's what needs to happen. Frank Reich, you're a great salesman to convince David Tepper to hire you, but you're on the play calling, you're on the play building needs to get you fired. And let's not forget Scott Fitterer. He drafted Bryce Young, who looks like a bust. He's drafted Terrace Marshall Jr., which was a healthy scratch today, is a bust. Who's our young players we're building around? Brian Burns, Derek Brown? Has he drafted any of them? No. He went and signed Miles Sanders to a ton of money. Chuba Hubbard's playing better than him. And you chose that guy. I just don't get it. I don't get what you're thinking as a team. What do we cheer for now? I mean, besides firing the whole front office. Yay! Front office is fired. Oh, wait. Didn't we do that basically last year? We didn't fire the front office, but we fired the head coach and basically most of the coaching staff. So we're going to go through that crap again. We don't have the first overall pick, which we're going to earn. No, we're not going to get that either. David Tepper, you need to get your hand out of the football cookie jar. And Miss Tepper, don't watch offensive line in practice. You're not a reasonable offensive line guru. No, let the football guys make decisions from now on. Fire the staff, get good quality football guys in here, and let them make decisions. I am sick of this. I can't continue to do this as a Panther fan. The defense looked good. I personally think it's time to fire Frank Reich, give Evero a chance, give Thomas Brown the reins of the offense, and let's see what he could do. Uh, it can't be worse than this average of 10 or 13 points a game. It can't. We're ruining a guy who was a consensus first-round pick of Bryce Young. He may not have been your choice to be over C.J. Stroud, but he was he's going to go a top 10 quarterback, a good quarterback who could read. He's just small. Well, the Panthers front office have made him look like garbage. Now, it could be that he is garbage, but the first 10 pass plays were 8 pressures, 2 sacks. I mean, what does this poor guy got to do? He's getting happy feet in his pocket because he's under constant pressure. There's no protection. There's no help for the offensive line who can't run this scheme that Frank Reich continues to try to pressure. He even said, "Oh, we're not changing a thing." What? You're not seeing what your players are doing good and bad and not changing it? From the results of the field, you could tell he's still trying to pound that square peg into a round hole. It's not going to work. It's not working. It's more dangerous to this team to keep him around. I know I'm going off on a tangent. I'm sure all of you understand this is frustrating and everything, but what point, man? What point? Lucky Steven doesn't have to watch this game live. So lucky. I'm going to jump into the stats because I don't even want to talk about the game besides us being completely and utter. Oh, Cooper Rush is throwing the ball down. That's how good we are. Cooper Rush is now in the game in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. The defense held up good. I mean, at one point it got to 17-7 or 10, and then turnover. Bryce Young's one of those guys who it seems like once it starts really going downhill and they constantly call pass plays, he struggles to pick himself up. I don't know what it is, but all right. Sorry, stats. Dak Prescott 25-38, 189. 2 touchdowns. I mean, I felt like the defense has done enough. I mean, yes, there's 33 points on the board, but I mean, short fields after short fields in the second half. That's bound to happen. Tony Pollard, 12 rushes, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. Rico Dowdle, 8 rushes, 23 yards. Cavante Turpin, he had some speed, 1 rush, 13 yards. Overall, 26 rushes for 108 yards, 1 touchdown. Not the best run defense, but considering our run defense has struggled most this season, not bad. Receiving-wise, Brandon Cooks, 3 receptions, 42 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 6 receptions, 38 yards, 1 touchdown. Kept him in check pretty well, especially considering I thought they like to go deep. Jake Ferguson, 3 for 32. Michael Gallup, 3 for 31. Luke Schoonmaker, 2 for 23 and a touchdown. Tony Pollard out of the backfield, 4 receptions, 19. And then a few others with 2, 3. I mean, defense, I don't really have much critique. I mean, the penalties need to be straightened up. You gave them a few first downs on it. Now, looking at Dallas's defense, Marquise Bell, safety, led the team in tackles, 10. Jaron Curse, 7, half a sack. Micah Parsons credited for 2.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. I mean, in our keys to the game, my number one and main thing is just keep Micah Parsons off Bryce Young. And in the first drive, you could tell that wasn't going to happen. Micah Parsons lines up against Chandler Zavala one-on-one. Frank Reich, Bryce Young, you guys don't audible out. You don't make it. We were in field goal range, by the way. You don't audible out. You don't change the play. You don't call a timeout. You just shotgun, hike it. Zavala stands there like a statue and gets ran around by Micah Parsons, who's one of the best of the games, and gets a sack. Kicks you out of the field goal range. You punt the ball away, and Dallas drives the ball length of the field to go up 7-0. I mean, I just don't get it. Like, how do you let that go by as a defensive coordinator? How do you let that go by as a head coach and a quarterback? That's quarterback and Bradley Bozeman. Why do you not do something to, hey, Micah Parsons right there. He's insanely good at rushing the passer, looking like his blitz. I know they disguise their blitzes, but just in case, let's bring somebody in the backfield. Let's get a tight end over there. That way we could get 2 guys on him. No, we're not doing that. Damone Clark, 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection. Jordan Lewis, 5 tackles. DeMarcus Lawrence, 3 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack. He's good, guys. Dorrance Armstrong, 3 tackles, half sack, and 2 QB hits. Overall, right now with the game, it is final now, 33-10. 11 QB hits. 11 QB hits, 1 defensive touchdown by Deron Bland, which was a great play, but Tommy Trimmel was wide open. And Bryce Young threw it to Mingo because I don't know. Mingo is favored in this offensive scheme for whatever reason. I don't think he's worth that second-round pick. But that's what this coaching staff wants to do. Terrace Marshall, healthy scratch, will probably be gone in the offseason. All right, now let's look at the Carolina's passing game. Bryce Young, 16 for 29, 123 yards at 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Chuba, 10 for carries for 57 yards, 5.7 yards per carry. Was looking pretty good, and then you know what happens? We have to play Miles Sanders. 11 rushes, 50 yards. Didn't have a bad game, but it just, I don't understand that. Still 29 passes, 23 runs. Once you got down, you had to continue to pass the ball, but it felt like they went away too early on that, on a lot of plays. So over and over again, this coaching staff just doesn't get it. Doesn't get how to win with these players. It's not a spread offensive setup. This team is not set up to win spread. I would love it if it was. I love spread. I think spreading out, having good offensive line, being able to dip and dunk, but they don't. They don't have the receivers. They don't have the offensive linemen. But it continues to be the bread and butter of Frank Reich. That is moldy, fell on the ground, and awful. But we're still going to go up there and eat it because, don't know. David Tepper, if I was you, I mentioned this I would fire Frank Reich, give Evero the keys, see what Thomas Brown can do. Because at this point, we know what Frank Reich is. He's an old ball coach that doesn't learn his lessons. Carolina receiving, Adam Thielen has continued to be solid. 8 receptions on 11 targets, 74 yards. Steven Sullivan, 1 reception, 20 yards. Back shoulder throw, great throw, good catch. A little bit of offensive pass interference, that wasn't called, but 33-10, who gives a... Laviska Shenault, 2 receptions, 9 yards. No one else is getting open. No one else is doing anything besides Adam Thielen. Well, whether it's scheme or not, someone needs to get open. Someone needs to make plays, man. At least on offense. Frankie Louvu led all the defense with tackles, not shocking. 8 total tackles, 2 pass deflections. Troy Hill, 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 3 pass deflections. Derek Brown had a couple splash plays early, and I didn't really see much of them. Again, I can't really fault the defense, even though they gave up 20-something points. You're just getting demolished so much. Dante Jackson, 5 tackles. Xavier Woods, 5 tackles. And 2 penalties on 1 play. 2 personal foul penalties on 1 play. That's impressive. Didn't know that could happen. DiCaprio Boodle, 4 tackles. I mean, other than this, I just, no sacks. I mean, only 4 QB hits. It is what it is, guys. We're the worst team in the league. We're going to give the Chicago Bears
dinner. It's not a birthday gift that you were giving Zach.
From the 25 play.
We are going to give the Chicago Bears the number 1 pick in the draft. Always fun. Now looking at team stats. First downs, Carolina only had 13. Dallas had 23. Total plays, 68 for Dallas, 59 for Carolina. Total yards, 311 for Dallas, 187 yards for Carolina. We have an offensive coach that gains 187 yards. With this being, dude, David Tepper, fire Frank Reich and Scott Fitterer tomorrow. Tonight. Get them out of this building. You're just prolonging it at this point. They are awful. Passing yards, 77 passing yards for the Panthers today. Good job with all their sacks and stuff. Dallas had 204. We had more rushing yards at 110. Penalties, 8 penalties, 90 yards for the Carolina with 2 turnovers, both by Bryce Young, 1 fumble and 1 interception on back-to-back drives. We are awful, guys. We can't do the little things right, which makes the big things look so much harder. I watched that touchdown drive, and I swear, it may have been the longest drive in the Panthers season. But all I saw was a team that struggled to do anything to get to score. It felt like 2 4th down plays to convert. It's just not good. Not good. This is going to be a shorter podcast as I'm solo, but I just can't anymore, man. This team sucks so bad. David Tepper, since you took over, this is the worst team in the league by far. We are the new Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets. We are awful. We are awful. I came on this podcast early because I just did not want to watch the end of the game. I was like, I want to knock this out so I could go spend time watching other good football teams, and play with my daughter a little bit. Not holding out hope. Here's another fun stat. Dallas got 5 first downs via penalties. 5. The Panthers had 13 total. So, this team is in shambles. It is what it is. We're a garbage team. Heroes and zeros. I'm going to give my hero out to Troy Hill, even though he gave up a passing touchdown. I felt like he played really well today. I mean, overall, the defense played pretty well. Zeros, Bryce Young, 2 turnovers. You're missing reads. You're getting happy feet in the pocket. It might be time to put Bryce Young out there just to not ruin you, in my opinion, because Frank Reich and this coaching staff are ruining you. I mean, and there's no other words to say it. I mean, you're getting the David Carr treatment in Houston. I mean, there's only so many hits that you could take before the quarterback gets happy feet. So sad. Beer bet was if there was anything different between Frank Reich and Thomas Brown. No. Still garbage. Didn't look much different, in my opinion. The run game looked a little bit better, but I don't think that was him. The holes were kind of opening up a little bit. So he stuck with it a little bit longer. But predictions, I think my prediction was 27-13. So I was close. I haven't even looked at other scores of other games, so for the NFC, so I'm not even going to try that. Guys, I'm sorry this is a short one, but I'm depressed. And I'm sure you're out there listening. You're depressed too, unless you're a Dallas Cowboys fan enjoying our misery. But hey, to be fair, we didn't think we were going to win this. We thought we were going to get our butts whooped, and we did. All right, we want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter @MeowMixPodcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. David Tepper, please do something. Fix this team. Fire the whole staff. Let's start anew next year with no first-round pick, even though you're stubborn. We'll see if you're actually willing to admit mistakes, because it doesn't seem like you are.